Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of Greek mythology to rank the most powerful gods and goddesses of Olympus who truly held the ultimate power. Was it brute strength, cunning intelligence, or something else entirely? Let's find out. When we think of power in Greek mythology, our minds often jump straight to Zeus, the king of the gods, hurling thunderbolts from his throne. And yes, he's definitely a top contender. But the concept of power among the Greek deities is far more complex and fascinating than just who can throw the biggest lightning bolt. It's about influence, creation, manipulation, and control over the very fabric of existence. So, our ranking won't just be about who would win in a fight, but who truly shaped the cosmos and the destinies of both gods and mortals. Let's start our journey not on Mount Olympus, but in the dark, swirling chaos that existed before anything else. Here we find the primordial gods, the true originators of everything. Think of beings like Gaia, Mother Earth herself. Her power wasn't just in her strength, but in her very essence. She gave birth to the sky, the mountains, and the sea. She was the foundation upon which everything was built. Even the mighty Zeus had to respect her, because without her, there would be nothing. And then there's Nyx, the goddess of the night. She was one of the most ancient and mysterious figures, so powerful that even Zeus feared her. Nyx could bring sleep, death, and dreams. She represented the unknown, the forces that existed before the Olympians came to power. Her influence was subtle but absolute. She didn't need to fight battles. Her domain was an inescapable part of existence. These primordial gods held a fundamental, almost cosmic power that set the stage for everything that followed. Now, let's move on to the Titans, the generation of gods who ruled before the Olympians. And at their head was Cronus. You've probably heard the story. Cronus overthrew his father, Uranus, and then, fearing a prophecy that his own children would do the same to him, he swallowed each of them as they were born. That's a pretty extreme way to hold on to power, right? Cronus's reign was defined by this fear and paranoia. His power was immense, as he was the king of the cosmos for an age. But his inability to escape fate was his ultimate weakness. His story is a classic Greek tragedy, a powerful ruler brought down by the very thing he tried to prevent. This, of course, leads us to the three brothers who would eventually overthrow Cronus and divide the universe among themselves: Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades. These three are the heavy hitters, the ones most people think of when they imagine divine power. After they defeated the Titans, they drew lots to decide their domains. Zeus, the youngest, drew the sky. He became the king of the gods, ruler of Mount Olympus. His symbol is the thunderbolt, a weapon forged by the Cyclopes that could shake the heavens. But his power wasn't just about lightning. He was the god of law, order, and justice. He maintained the balance of the world. Of course, he was also famous for his many affairs, which often caused a lot of chaos, showing that even the king of the gods was ruled by his own passions. But when it came to sheer authority and the ability to command the other Olympians, Zeus was undeniably at the top. Next up, we have Poseidon, who drew the sea. Don't underestimate him. While Zeus ruled the sky, Poseidon commanded the vast, untamable oceans. With his trident, he could create massive earthquakes, summon giant sea monsters, and stir up storms that could swallow entire fleets. The ancient Greeks were a seafaring people, so the god who controlled the waves held terrifying power over their lives and livelihoods. Poseidon was known for his moody and vengeful nature. If you crossed him, you could find your entire city shattered by an earthquake, or your ship dragged to the bottom of the ocean. His power was raw, elemental, and just as destructive as Zeus's thunderbolts. And that brings us to the third brother, Hades. He drew the short straw, or so it seems, and became the lord of the underworld. Now, Hades is often misunderstood. He's not the equivalent of the devil. He's not inherently evil. He was the ruler of the dead, a somber but necessary role. His power was absolute in his own domain. No one, not even Zeus, could command the souls of the dead. Once a soul crossed the river Styx, it belonged to Hades. His realm was inescapable. Think about that kind of power. The ultimate finality. He controlled the riches of the earth, the precious metals and gems found underground, which is why he was also called Plutus, the god of wealth. His power was quiet, unseen, but total. So we have the three great brothers, each ruling a fundamental aspect of the universe. But what about the other Olympians? Their power might be more specialized, but it was no less crucial. Let's talk about the goddesses. You can't have a conversation about power without mentioning Hera, the wife of Zeus and queen of the gods. As the goddess of marriage and family, her power was immense, though often expressed through jealousy and revenge against Zeus's many lovers and their children. She was a formidable figure, and her schemes often drove major storylines in Greek mythology. Her position as queen gave her a unique authority that even Zeus had to contend with. Then there's Athena, the goddess of wisdom, strategy, and warfare. She wasn't about the brutal, chaotic side of battle. That was Ares's department. Athena represented smart, strategic conflict. She was a master tactician. Born fully grown and armored from Zeus's head, she was his favorite child. Her wisdom guided heroes like Odysseus and Perseus. Her power wasn't just about fighting. It was about outthinking her opponents. In a world full of brute force, her intelligence was one of the most potent weapons of all. And speaking of Ares, the god of war, he represented the bloodlust, the violence, and the pure physical brutality of battle. The Greeks didn't exactly admire him. They feared him. He was impulsive and aggressive. While Athena fought with a plan, Ares just fought. His power was chaotic and destructive. He could incite mortals to war and reveled in the carnage. In terms of raw, physical aggression, Ares was a terrifying force. But power isn't always about war and destruction. What about the power of creation and skill? That's where Hephaestus comes in. The god of the forge, blacksmiths, and craftsmanship. Cast out of Olympus because of his physical imperfections, Hephaestus became the master artisan. He forged Zeus's thunderbolts, Poseidon's trident, and Achilles' armor. He created incredible automatons and wondrous devices. His power was indirect, but essential. Without him, the other gods wouldn't have had their iconic weapons. He proves that power isn't just about who you can defeat, but also what you can create. And what about communication? That's Hermes' domain, the messenger of the gods. He was the god of travelers, thieves, and commerce. He was swift, cunning, and could move between the worlds of gods, mortals, and the dead. His power was in connection. He delivered the messages that started wars or brokered peace. He guided souls to the underworld. Without him, the divine world would be in chaos, unable to communicate. His speed and cleverness made him an incredibly influential figure. Finally, let's not forget one of the most subtle, yet overwhelmingly powerful forces in the Greek pantheon, Aphrodite, the goddess of love, beauty, and desire. You might think love is a soft power, but in Greek mythology, it was anything but. Aphrodite could make anyone, god or mortal, fall madly in love. This ability caused absolute chaos. Her little squabble over a golden apple led directly to the Trojan War, a decade-long conflict that resulted in the deaths of countless heroes and the destruction of a great city. She could manipulate the emotions of the most powerful beings, turning them into puppets of their own desire. That kind of influence is a power all its own, capable of toppling empires without lifting a single weapon. So, who is the most powerful? It's impossible to pick just one. Is it Zeus, with his absolute authority and thunderbolts? Is it Poseidon with his command over the destructive power of the sea? Or is it Hades, with his unchallengeable dominion over the dead? Perhaps it's the primordial beings like Gaia or Nyx, who represent the fundamental forces of the universe itself. The beauty of Greek mythology is that it shows us that power is multifaceted. It's the king's decree, but it's also the craftsman's hammer, the strategist's plan, and the lover's whisper. Each god, from the mightiest ruler to the swiftest messenger, played a crucial role in the grand, chaotic, and beautiful tapestry of the cosmos. Their stories, their conflicts, and their diverse powers are what make this mythology so endlessly compelling. What do you think? Who would you rank as the most powerful Greek god? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your arguments. Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this journey through mythology, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more content like this. See you in the next video.